Hi there, my name is Charles Jones, and I'm going to talk to you about a question that's very near and dear to my heart. Before I do, I want to tell you a little bit about where I came from and how I arrived at this question. I was raised in a loving, brainy family, and I love to take things apart and find out where things came from. I have a particularly happy memory of taking apart my mom's clock and discovering the second law of thermodynamics. But the processes that really fascinated me were those that defied entropy, especially evolution. And the idea that we all living creatures came from a common descendant gave me a much needed sense of belonging when Darwin was my hero and everyone else wanted to be Spider-Man. I was particularly interested in why, among all the creatures that walked on two legs, had opposable thumbs, and used tools, why we were the last hominid standing. After all, we didn't have the largest brain. What we did have is this incredible capacity for collective learning and cultural evolution. Just think, 50,000 years ago, our ancestors were sitting around a fire talking about the hunt, and tonight we get to listen to F play electric guitar. But it's not all good. I also looked around and saw we were building nuclear arsenals, putting more carbon in our atmosphere than our climate could permit, and polluting the ecosystems upon which our food supply depended. And coming closer to home, I was appalled when I found out that my best friend's father beat his mom, or when a very close friend of mine from high school committed suicide, much less the stories of war and starvation that I saw in the news all the time. All this kind of conspired to lead me to formulate a question that has been the organizing one of my college thesis and my ensuing career, which is why, for such a smart species, do we do such stupid things? My first theory is that emotions were the problem. After all, I had seen frustration lead to destruction, anger lead to violence, and depression lead to suicide. The problem with this hypothesis is that I had also seen those same emotions lead to positive results. I'd seen frustration lead to innovative ways of doing things, anger to nonviolent social change, and depression to an impassioned search for meaning. And then it occurred to me, it's not the emotions that are a problem, it's how we're interpreting them. For example, if we interpret our frustration as evidence there's something wrong with the PC, we might be inclined to smash it. On the other hand, if we interpret our frustration as a need to become more effective at achieving our goal, we'll come up with an innovative way to do so. Likewise, if we interpret our anger as evidence of wrongdoing on the part of others, we'll feel justified in committing violent acts against them. In contrast, if we interpret our anger as a call to become more assertive about our own rights, we might become the next Martin Luther King. Finally, if we interpret our depression as evidence that life just isn't worth living, we might do the unthinkable. If instead we see it as a call to find more meaning in our life, we might, like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, attain enlightenment. So this principle can be summarized as follows. If, when you have a negative emotion, you begin to think there's something wrong with you, someone else, or the world, you'll respond with maladaptive behavior. In contrast, if you interpret that same emotion as evidence that you need to find a more effective way to go about meeting your needs, you'll respond with adaptive behavior. This principle holds for all negative emotions. Thinking there's something wrong makes you stupid. Thinking you need to become more effective makes you smart. So here's the takeaway. The next time you find yourself thinking there's something wrong with you or someone else or the world, go behind that negative emotion, find the unmet need, and find a more effective way to meet it. If you do this, and I do this, and we get everyone else to do this, then we truly will become the smartest, most adaptive species this planet has ever seen. And who knows, maybe one day we'll even travel to the stars. My name is Charles Jones. I'm Adaptable. Thank you very much.